Robert, you and I have witnessed lots of handshakes between Michel Barnier and a fair few British Prime Ministers over the years, and we chatted to the experts at UK in a Changing Europe to try and find a way of looking at just how warm some of those handshakes were or weren't. Now, they looked at the high and low points and the biggest challenges faced by each of these Prime Ministers. And then here at the Peston team, we turned them into these top trumps, giving them a score of how they were received, essentially, in Brussels. So let's take a look at David Cameron, for example. We scored him a 6, and the UK in a Changing Europe pointed out that a high point, for example, was some treaties signed with France under Cameron. A low point with the EU was all the trouble that Cameron had with UKIP, which ultimately, of course, pushed him towards the Brexit referendum. If we take another Prime Minister here, Theresa May, well, we've scored her a 5 because she did have some highs, but also some real difficulty, of course, with party unity, which ultimately brought her down. And this was the period when Michel Barnier really started getting involved with our Prime Ministers negotiating a Brexit deal. So I wonder, when it comes to Theresa May, Mr Barnier, whether this feels about right, 5 out of 10 in terms of your warmth with Theresa May and vice versa?
No, I think it seems to be correct and fair. To be frank, I have a lot of respect for Theresa May. She has been, and I think she is a courageous stateswoman, and we had always a good relation with her.
OK. I wonder how, then, it compares to Boris Johnson. We've scored him a 1, which you probably wouldn't be surprised at. I mean, he did get a trade deal with the EU, of course he did, and that was a big achievement at the time, although it's had to be unpicked. Did it feel like a 1 out of 10 behind the scenes for you?
It's clear that Mr Johnson has been and is much more baroque, if I may say. We signed with him not only one treaty on trade, but the previous one about the first Brexit on institution, the divorce, including the Irish Protocol. So the point is not to sign a treaty. The point is to respect a treaty and to respect its own signature. And I never understood, I do not still understand, how the Prime Minister of such a country, a great country like the UK, can be able not to respect his own signature.
Did you find him difficult behind the scenes?
Yes.
No comment. Sometimes is the only comment you need. Right, Liz Truss, we'll just skim over her quickly, as life tends to. She got a 2 out of 10. She wasn't around for very long, but she had the legacy of Johnson, of course, which caused her great trouble. And then last but not least, we've got our current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Now, he's interesting because, of course, he just got the Windsor Agreement through, which exceeded many expectations back here in Britain. Still got the ghost of Johnson hanging over him. We've scored him a 6. Do you think that Rishi Sunak is repairing the relationship with the EU?
Yes, I think he's on the good path. He shows a goodwill. It's the reason why we succeed with maximum flexibility on the Commission side to sign this Windsor Agreement, just to implement the protocol I've negotiated with Mr. Johnson. And to be frank, we have lost 2 years. Thanks to Rishi Sunak, we can now implement this protocol. And if I may say, for the Europeans, the Brexit is on the books. So we have to look at the future. And I think the question now for Rishi Sunak and for any new government in the UK is to know what part of this future of the European continent we will share. And for us, what part we will build with or without the UK. And in my view, there is so many challenges.